Back when I was 18, I went through a phase where I felt lost. I looked around and I felt that everyone was living lives that seemed miserable, and it didn't really seem like anyone really had any of the answers to living a good life, or at least one that I thought was very fulfilling anyway. I didn't really see any path in life that pulled me towards it and pulled any kind of drive out of me. I've always been a person that works hard on everything I did, but I just didn't know exactly what to point my efforts towards. I'm the kind of guy that wakes up at the crack of dawn, can work until 10 p.m. without eating any food when I want to get something done. But for some reason at that time, the future just seemed very, very sad and dull to me. And that was probably one of the darkest times in my life, honestly. Not the hardest struggle that I've been through per se, but the darkest time where I genuinely thought to myself that I'd rather just check out permanently, if you know what I'm saying, than live a life that I saw that was kind of laid out in front of me. Those thoughts made me feel really uncomfortable, and I realized something needed to change. And so I immediately caused me to start losing interest in all the quote unquote fun things that my friends and I were doing at the time. And I took a break away from everyone for a little bit because I wanted to spend as much time alone thinking about my life as I possibly could. This alone time then caused me to start looking for answers. In my mind, I had to figure out the meaning of life, so I would then know what was the right path for me. I felt that if I found all of the answers, I would then know what to do with my life. And that was the beginning of my trip down the rabbit hole. Honestly, I didn't really know exactly what I was searching for, but I was looking. I looked into different religions. I studied history, entrepreneurship, philosophers, futurists, mega rich people, and even the minimalist hippies living in vans as well. I wanted to start understanding everything. I wanted to try and come to some kind of conclusion about life. I wanted to find who was living the perfect life so that I could use them as an example of how I should live my own life. And while falling down the rabbit hole, just like many people do, I got into drugs. Never hard drugs. I never took pills, never huffed, snorted, or injected anything. I barely even drank alcohol, to be honest. And as odd as it may sound to some people, I was doing drugs to learn about myself and learn about the world that I lived in. And that's when I discovered psychedelics. And they ended up changing my life forever, to be honest. I have a video on drugs that I'm going to make, and it'll be out in the next few weeks. So subscribe if you guys want to see that from me. But for now, I'm just going to say, if you guys want to do anything, stay smart. Don't do anything that's crazy. And make sure you do your research on everything that you do. So be careful. These things are tools, and they could be used for good, but they can also cause some mental trauma that can negatively affect your life. So again, just be careful. My first time I did them, I did a very small amount, as you should. Then the second go around, I felt that I was ready to step it up a little bit, and I had a very, very intense experience. I'm not going to describe the experience here, but when you're tripping, your brain takes all of the information it already has inside of it and starts to form new connections based on all of the information that you had. So you have thoughts and ideas that you've actually never had before based around the information that was already in your head. So for me, when this happened, I realized two things. One, I was kind of addicted to people at the time, and I had to change that. And second, I was searching and I was trying to find something and someone that simply didn't exist. There is no single person with all of the answers. And there are no solid answers to the universe, religion, morals, or any of these things that I and other people really base their lives on. Even our history is being corrected and rewritten every day. No one really knows what's going on in this world. All your friends, their parents, all of the famous people you know, everyone you admire, we're all just giving it our best shot. And doing that based on what we believe to be true in life. For example, in religion, there's almost no proof of anything, and that's why they push faith so much. You must trust and believe without actually knowing the truth. People go through their entire lives, from beginning to end, connecting deeply with religion based on faith alone, never knowing 100% if it's true or not. And every single one of them have doubts from time to time, but they choose to continue moving forward, living a life based on that religion anyway, because they have faith. Part of me thinks that these people are crazy, but the other part of me also admires them and their ability to have faith in something without having all of the answers, because life is like that. Sometimes you have to have faith in committing to something when you don't actually know for sure what it's all about, or how it's going to turn out in the end. You have to have faith. For example, me making these videos. At the time of recording this, I have just under 240 subscribers. I'm not making any money from this channel. I don't really have a community built around this channel yet, and I don't know for sure if any of this is going to work out the way that I want it to anyway. And I don't even know exactly what I want to do with this channel or the brand long term. But young men are struggling more than they have ever in recent history, and so I'm on a mission to help them become mentally and physically strong, become unbreakable, while also improving their moral compass so they do better things. And I find that to be worth the risk that I'm taking by dedicating my time, effort, and my emotions towards this channel. I have to have faith that things will work out if I dedicate myself to the mission. Does it make me a little nervous? Every single day. Do I sometimes think that it might be wasting my time? I sure do. But I'm moving forward anyway. All of the answers will never be laid out in front of us. We are not meant to fully understand everything, and we are not meant to know exactly what the right path for us is to take. You have to have a little faith in your choices. If you're putting in work towards something for your future, or you're looking to move forward on something in life, some big decision that you have to make, and it makes you a little scared, as long as you have thought it through and you weigh out the odds and you weigh out your options, have some faith that you, as you are right now, you're already smart enough to make the decision. Move forward with your decision like you know that it's the right choice. Because there's no better attitude to have when you're starting something new than to be optimistic about it. If you keep in your mind that this might not work out and it might not be the best option, you won't give it your full self. You won't give it your full effort. But if you fully embrace it and you commit to the decision, it will allow you to get the best results possible, and you're actually going to enjoy the choice that you decided to go with. You have to also accept that the decision actually might not be right, and it might end up at the end that it was wrong, and that's going to hurt a little bit, but that's life, man. Not all things are always going to work out in our favor. Not all things are going to play out the way we imagine that they would. But I've learned that it's better to move forward confidently, even if you have a little bit of fear, than to waste time debating and sometimes never even making a choice at all. This might sound a little bit crazy, but a little exercise that you can do to practice this new habit is making small decisions throughout the day very quickly. Simple, very, very, very simple things like, what restaurant do you want to go to? What food do you want to get when you see the menu? Simple things like that are not a big deal, and they really don't matter very much. So you can use these things as practice flexing that brain muscle with no consequences to your life. So fellas, make sure next time that you need to make a decision, don't think too deeply into it. Use logic, have faith in your ability to make the decision, and commit to the choice that you make. Thank you. I'll see you guys in the next one.